What a race. Hello everybody, it's me Alan, and I'm back with another video. We are reacting to the NASCAR Xfinity Series season opener at Daytona, and that was one hell of a race. I will say that. It was a lot tamer, I think, than the truck race last night, although granted, I missed part of that because I had to work. But that being said, even still, this race had its moments, and I've got a lot to talk about here. There's one driver in particular I am really proud of, and I'll get to that in a little bit. So, coming off, so we'll kick it off. Race gets started. Austin Cindric's on the pole. Unfortunately, qualifying got rained out, which meant the likes of Tyler Reddick, Jordan Anderson, and a few others. Unfortunately, we're not able to get to compete, which really stinks because I wanted to see them get it, get in there and get it done. I think they were all doing really well in practice, so I think it would have been really cool to see them win or get into the race. That is. Um, but anyway, so we got a few cautions in this race early on. Coming off of turn 4 on lap 4, going into lap 5, Alex Labbe spins off the top lane. No other cars involved. Labbe saves the car. Caution comes out. Spun right in front of Joe Graf Jr. I'll be talking about him in a little bit. So stay tuned to the end. Josh Williams, his Labbe's teammate, suffered a blown tire and spun out on lap 11. And during some guys pitted at that time, and Danny Bone, who's in the 48 car in the Xfinity Series, went to the rear on the restart for too many crew members of the wall. Not a ton of pit road penalties, I don't think, but as far as I could see. Josh Williams spun again while the race was under a caution break. There was a commercial break. There was a few wrecks that happened during commercial break, and we'll get to that again later. And then Brandon Jones edges out Riley Herbst for the stage 1 win. Herbst second, Dillon third, Austin Cindric fourth, Noah Gragson fifth, Daniel Hemric sixth, Justin Allgaier seventh, Harrison Burton eighth, Ryan Sieg ninth, and Brandon Brown in 10th. And then Sieg and Brandon Brown stayed out at the end of stage 1. Stage 2 was uneventful for the most part, right up until the end. Drivers got together on the bottom, and Brett Moffitt got to the front, basically, line them up and whatever. And Sieg had stayed out, and he, whatever. Apparently, he might have been having a fuel issue or oil issue or something. Because when they went down pit road, they did have to open the trunk to look into that. But anyway, Brandon Jones, he moved up to the middle of the racetrack and then came back down. And I actually noted this as being it was Michael Annett that he tried to block. After seeing the video, I was wrong. It was actually Mike Snyder. And Jones got spun. He ended up getting spun into the grass, and then he came back up the racetrack. Cody Ware got on the brakes. He ended up skidding into him, and the 36 of Alex Labbe also got hit. But the craziest thing about this is 3 different guys barely missed getting involved. Brandon Jones barely missed hitting Riley Herbst, and I mean barely missed hitting him before Jones got in the wall. And then when Jones came back down the track and then got hit by Ware, Joe Graf Jr. barely missed getting hit by both of them essentially. And then when Alex Labbe got hit, he was right behind Michael Annett. Annett barely missed getting hit as well by Brandon Jones. He might have got scraped a little bit by a piece of Brandon Jones's back bumper or deckler or whatever that was sort of flying off. But aside from that, he, again, barely missed getting hit there. And then Brett Moffitt won the stage. Dillon second, Austin Cindric third, Justin Haley fourth, Brandon Brown fifth, Ryan Sieg sixth, Jeremy Clements seventh, Noah Gragson eighth, Mike Snyder ninth, and Josh Berry in 10th. And as I mentioned before, Ryan Sieg's team opened up the deck lid and it looked like he was having a fuel issue or oil issue or something. But then he was able to come back out. And then we had another commercial break a little while later on, and we got another caution. You call this a big one, call this a semi-big one, whatever. Austin Cindric looked to come down pit road with 30-something laps to go, I believe, for green flag pit stops. And what happened was it sort of bottlenecked some people, and Michael Annett ended up getting turned. Well, basically, I think he got loose off the bumper of Chad Fincham coming off of turn 4, and then went down and then turned back up, and got spun or he got turned. Um, He got hit. He gets turned into the wall, gets hit by Jeffrey Earnhardt. Greg Goulding runs into the back of Jeffrey's car. Ryan Sieg, I think Sieg got into the back of Colby Howard when this happened, and they both spun. And Bailey Curry got spun at somewhere along the way. And Noah Gragson, who was going to go down pit road, he ended up turning to go back onto the racetrack once the caution lights came on, or because pit road closed. He got hit in the back by Bailey Curry, and yeah, and then Ryan Vargas also spun, but he ended up in the grass, but he just kept his foot on it and got the hell out of there, no damage. No big deal. Um, some people, when Dillon was running up side by side against Austin Cindric at times, there were some people on Twitter who were like, oh, Ty, get in or whatever, because of what had happened with the duels, and Austin Cindric being the benefactor of Ryan Preece, passing Dillon on the last lap of duel number one, and all of those shenanigans. So I saw a little bit of that, nothing too major. Um, but due to this wreck, Gragson, Goulding, Annett, Earnhardt, they all taken out. I think there might have been one or two others, not really sure. Timmy Hill, Cesar Baccarella, Jesse Little, and Danny Bone actually all stayed out for a little bit. And then Bone pitted, and then Hill and Baccarella and Little pitted. So that happened. And then speaking of Cesar Baccarella, he spawned with 21 laps to go. Caution comes out there. And then with 16 to go, the big one happens. Dillon got loose off the bumper of Daniel Hemric going into turns 3 and 4, and it just collected a bunch of guys near the front of the field. Jeb Burton, Riley Herbst, Brandon Brown got partly involved, not really. He was fine. Justin Haley, Justin Allgaier, Josh Berry, Chad Fincham, Timmy Hill, Jeremy Clemens, Jason White, Danny Bone, and Robbie Lyons. And then I saw a tweet from Jeff Gluck. Lyon, according to him, I guess Robbie was dropping fuel and didn't stop, and NASCAR ordered him to get out of his car. He was going to get a ride to the NASCAR trailer, and then he corrected, saying that actually Lyons hit a safety truck, and then provided a tweet from the Racing Underdogs, where Myatt said over the radio that I hit the damn truck. I barely hit him, but I couldn't keep the car on the apron. So we'll see what happens there. And then coming to 6 to go, Landon Castle gets turned into the wall by Jeb Burton and Rex, and Tommy Joe Martins got collected in that. Burton was fine, but unfortunately, and Landon Castle running the paint scheme, a paint scheme that Noah Sweet made. So it sucks to see him get wrecked there. Shit happens. And then the race goes to NASCAR overtime, and there's a lot of the top guys got knocked out. You still had Austin Cindric, Brett Moffitt, Harrison Burton, Jeb Burton, obviously, AJ Allmendinger, Brandon Brown was still in it, Mike Snyder, Daniel Hemric, even though, again, he was involved in that big one, he was still in it. Dillon was still in it. I think he finished like 14th or 15th. But let me read off a couple of names that you probably weren't thinking would be up here right now. Guys like Brandon Godovic. If you've seen Joe Slapjuice's video regarding going back, having NASCAR go to Bowman Gray Speedway, he was at the race that he talked about, and there Godovic was in it. Jason White, Joe Graf Jr. Ooh, baby. So basically, they get the green flag for NASCAR overtime. Uneventful overtime. Cindric had some good blocks. Nobody wrecked. And unfortunately, Joe Graf Jr., he was at the top 10, and then he just didn't have anybody behind him. Fell out a little bit. He ended up finishing 11th. But, congrats to Austin Cindric. Being the defending series champion, to get the win to open up the season. That's awesome. But let me talk about Joe Graf Jr. for a second. All right. A lot of people, all right, I'm in a Twitch chat not Twitch chat, Twitter, just group chat with a bunch of friends of mine. Guys are fans of Joe. He follows a lot of us on Twitter. He's an awesome dude. I've gotten to be on a Zoom call with him, along with some of the others in the group chat. Actually, I think we've done it like twice now. But Joe Graf Jr. in this race, he started in the top 20, I think around 18th, if I'm not mistaken. He was just out there biding his time. And the fact of the matter is, that motherfucker, he 99 motherfucking wreck avoidance. Oh my god. Again, he avoids getting hit by Brandon Jones and Cody Ware in the wreck at the end of stage 2. There was at one point where Myatt Snyder got loose off of Brett Moffitt's front bumper, And Joe Graf Jr. was right behind Brett. And then a little bit later, Justin Haley got loose off of right in front of Joe Graf Jr. So that happened. Um, the big one, the semi big one, the Landon Castle Tommy Joe Martin's wreck, avoided. Joe Graf Jr. Dude, driving in just one race with that '07 car compared to last year with the '08. And I get that last year was his rookie year. And sorry, and just with COVID and all of that, he had some pretty good runs. He had some runs where he was in the top 20, uh, as high as in the top 15 at times, but the finishes weren't there. Just something happened. And the thing is a lot of people, there's people in the community on Twitter who were giving shit towards Joe and towards some of us as fans, simply calling him overrated and saying that a lot of us are only fans of him because he follows us, which is complete bullshit. Fuck that. You have no argument if that's your argument. Fuck you. Um, but to see Joe out there tonight, like there was a restart earlier in the race where he was like 13th on the restart and he fell back to like 19th or 20th. He was hanging back. He knew he had a good car. Or I would say, he had a really good car, and he just wow, 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 wow. I think the only thing that happened against him in this race was somebody in the chat was saying that he pitted when pit road was closed at one point or something. I'm not quite sure. But so he was stuck towards like back in like the 20s or 30s or whatever. But either way, he worked his way back up. He bided his time. He got some TV time. He got mentioned. He got to be in the top 10 for a while. And an 11th place finish. I get that it's a super speedway. This is his best fucking finish in the Xfinity Series like ever. And again, this is only his second full-time season. But again, this was his best run, in my personal opinion. This is his best run of his career in the Xfinity Series, and I have a really good feeling that he's going to do really well soon. He's going to do a lot better this year than he did last year. Not just for the fact that last year was his rookie year, but also simply for the fact that I just think that '07 car, it compared to the '08 car from last year, it feels like an improvement. It feels like an upgrade, and he fucking deserves it, man. Like I know a lot of people are like, oh, Greg Golding, the year prior, he took that '08 car and he almost made the playoffs and this and that. I remember seeing a tweet from Nate. He's a good buddy of Joe's, and he's works for the team and all that. The tweet got deleted, but what I remember Nate saying was, as far as Greg Golding goes, the reason why he left the '08 was not because he got booted. He just left, find another opportunity, and it is what it is. Hell, he got to run. Ran a couple races. He ran in the '07 car at the second Daytona race, and he put that thing in the fucking top 5. And people were looking at that like, oh, he should be in the '08, not Graf. Look, last year was his rookie season. This year, he has a year of experience under his belt. He showed some flashes last year, getting into the top 20 at times. The finishes just weren't there. And now he was one spot away from a top 10. If he had someone behind him on that overtime, or if somebody stuck behind him, he could have ended up back in the top 10 because he was in the top 10 on the restart. And he held his own. Joe, if you watch this, man, I am so fucking proud of you, dude. You fucking ran your ass off out there tonight. And I have a really good feeling about this season with you, man. I really do. That was fucking phenomenal. Just, again, luckiest man alive this tonight. He avoided, what, 5 wrecks? A couple he very well could have gotten involved in. If he was just a bit slower or whatever. A couple of wrecks that could have happened that didn't, that he was right behind if they did happen. Dude, I mean, hell, again, when Alex Labbe spun on lap 4 going to lap 5, he was in the top lane. and spun down the bottom and whatever. He spun right in front of Joe. Again, 99 motherfucking wreck avoidance. Holy shit. I am so fucking proud of you, Joe. That was awesome to watch. It really was. And again, congrats to Austin Cindric, picking up where he left off last year. He gets the win at Daytona, gets the win to open up his championship defense run. Congrats to him. And yeah. So thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. And if you did, please drop a like, subscribe for more content like this. I will see you all after the Daytona 500 tomorrow. Link in the description to join OBB's Discord chat. We will be doing Discord live chats throughout the season. Hope to see you there.